love, appreciations, feedback, and critics. And if you by chance forget to watch us through Zoom, Facebook, or uh, live, please don't forget to check out our YouTube channel as well as Facebook. We are available there. But please don't forget to send your comments, because your comments are the only way to interact with us. Moreover, your comment gives us motivation as well as it's a great appreciation for our speakers. So please, I request everyone, if you're watching through Zoom, please do write the comments. If you're watching through Facebook or YouTube, don't forget to send your comments. With that note, there is a four types of learner: psychologists, scientists, and sociologists. This come up with all type of learner, and ultimately they end up with the four types of learner. One is visual learner. That's a famous walk model. VARK is all about this. So V stand for the visual learner, who learn by seeing things. A stand for the auditory one, who learn by listening things. R stand for the reading and writing, which we used to do when we were, in our school time, that we read things and then making the notes. And last but not the least, K is a kinesthetic. Kinesthetics are those who learn by doing method. So in today's life, we should understand and respect every learner. And you Nurse Talk Show is actually respect each and every type of learner. And therefore, soon we will be coming up with our e-magazine. You, the Nurse Talk Show e-magazine. You can access that magazine free of cost soon. So with that note, I request my team to please introduce yourself. Geeta.
Gita's going to be a bit late, she said. Yeah.
Okay. Krish.
Hello everyone, good evening to all. Welcome to our today's episode. We were having many episodes before also about unconventional nursing. So I hope today also we'll get some good thoughts from our two vibrant speakers. So once again, I welcome you all on behalf of Talk Show. Thank you.
Dalma.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening and welcome to our show and welcome to our speakers today, the ladies who is making difference in our profession. Welcome both of you and would love to listen to you both. And see, I have been following you since some time, so I love to listen to you both. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Dalma. Rekha Di.
Hello everyone, myself Rekha Anirudh Kumar. I'm a passionate nurse more than 24 years. I'm following Ansi from so long. Nice to see you, Ansi and Pritha. Looking forward for a great session. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Over to you, Shri ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sri Devi, in love with nursing since a long, long time. And I'm on the show with Rupa, who's the brainchild. Preeta, welcome to the show, as well as Ansi. This is the third session of unconventional nursing. This month is the theme of unconventional nursing. The scope of this is to actually motivate or let nurses know there are many things that they can do and not necessarily be just in a hospital or just teach or things like that. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. I hope Geeta and Uma ma'am are not there. You of the show. So with that note, thank you very much, my team. I sincerely thank you everyone for your kind efforts. And as it is already described by Shri ma'am and the other people, that we are talking about the nurses beyond the conventional nursing. People think about nurses on the bedside. People think about the nurses as a teacher. But there are few nurses who are not just think that they will be beyond their bedside, beyond the teaching, and start looking the other areas. And let me tell you, they are very successful. And not only they are successful, they open a whole arena for other nurses to join this scope of area. With that note, I am happy to introduce today's speaker, Miss Preeta Sarkar and Miss NC Abraham on the show. And thank you very much for accepting our invitation and being on the show. So first, I request Miss Preeta. you can see her credential. She's working as a general manager in clinical with Arjo Hanley. So the thing, she is the lady with the positive vibes. When you talk to her, she keep talking about the team. You know, she is such a constructive, positive mindset lady that I really started admire her for her that quality. And I felt that only person like them and her can be a great source of new scope for the nurses. And that's what Preeta did. Preeta always wanted to be in a corporate beyond the nursing job. And she really not only did it for herself, but she's having huge nursing chain and huge team with whom she's working. And she's actually very successful, very well appreciated. Over to you, Miss Preeta Sarkar. Once again, thank you very much on the show, accepting our invitation. I can understand it's a festive season, and we can see her dedication toward the profession, that she accepted our invitation and being on the show despite having the festive season. Thank you, Preeta, and over to you.
Thank you, Rupa. And thank you, Sridevi ma'am, Dalma ma'am, and all other the organizer for inviting me to this show. It is really, I'm very happy to share. I actually belong to a nursing family. My mother herself is nurse. My aunties are nurse. And I have seen the scope in nursing. That in nursing, you can go till the higher academics like doctorate, postdoc. And even if you wanted to work anywhere in the world geographically, that opportunity is there. I feel it is a uniqueness in nursing profession. And I admired when I'm in class 2, I wanted to do my career. And that's how I began my journey with BSc Nursing. I completed in 1999 from West Bengal Government College of Nursing. That time it was the only one. Now though we have to give entrance exam overall with joint to get BSc Nursing in West Bengal. Then I had been to a cardiac OT nurse in Bembella, which was the minimum criteria to do MSc that time in MedSurg, and came and worked as a lecturer. When I was in graduation, that time, with Bruners and Sudhers, we used to see that nurses also do work in corporates, UK and USA nurses. And it's really very interesting for me. I had developed that curiosity. How, apart from the traditional way, perhaps that gel has given me this opportunity today where I'm having. And it is a short story that in Critical Nursing Conference, when floor is open for discussion, I gave my viewpoint on cardiac rehabilitation, which has attracted my present boss, Ma'am Shushila Samuel. She's the clinical director of Arjo, South Asian Middle East. She said there is an opportunity, you can opt for an interview. That time I'm in 20s, and you know the age that people like challenges, wanted to know what is unknown. So I took up and I thought, though, let me see. Honestly speaking, there was a little hiccup that whether I'm taking the right decision or not. But right now, standing in front of you, after 16 years working in Arjo, I can only say that I have no regret. I have taken the right decision that time. Yes, it is unconventional, but I am true to nursing because I always wanted to work definitely unique apart from the tradition, but I don't want to transform myself from nurse. So I'm very much into core to nursing. And in fact, I'm doing that. And it's not me. It is we. We are 32 nurses, pan-India, working in various hierarchy level. Our basic starting in Arjo is as a clinical specialist, then zonal manager, clinical development manager, deputy regional manager, DGM, GM, and clinical director. Currently, I am looking half of India, North India and East India, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. I am having 4 clinical senior managers who also have a team. I am handling Hub of India with the 12 members team. We have another Hub of India also. We are reporting to clinical director, BAM, who is taking care of South Asian, Middle East. We also have an organizational pattern, just like in any hospital or in academics. So that is one interesting growth ladder. Moreover, when I'm working in a corporate with our sales colleague, with our finance colleague, with our service engineer, we're always looked high up on being nurse. So that is also very essence of our organizational culture, which I wanted to share. Now, actually, what job profile we do? We do exactly what today an hospital nurse or an academics nurse would have been done, but maybe a little different way, that we are focusing on three segments or three subjects in depth a little. That is pressure injury prevention. As all of you know, that nursing excellence, NABH, JCI, looking forward for zero tolerance of pressure injury. Then VT prophylaxis, safe patient handling. Arjo vision. Arjo is present in 100 countries, and the vision is to become the trusted partner to get the most healthier outcome with patient with mobility related challenges. So we are core into that vision, that it is not the business, it is the clinical need. And we clinical team, in fact, I myself as a clinical team, we partner with the hospital, we discuss with the hospital. For anything to discuss, we first do clinical trials. That is most important, to know the outcome, that yes, it is happening perfectly fine. We empower the clinical nurses of the hospital to take the clinical decision as to take what PEEP solution for the patient. PEEP solution is pressure injury prevention solution or pressure area care system according to Braden scale risk assessment pressure injury. See, in India, we practice with Braden scale. We pioneered since 2002, which many chain hospital now are putting into their nursing assessment chart. Well, really, it has been followed, properly evaluated. And not only that, skin assessment, gradation of pressure injury, that the latest EPUAP, NPIP, and PPIAP, that is European, American, and Australian advisory panel on pressure injury. We share the latest update through our educational program, through our session. In fact, I'm happy to share that about 12 nursing councils has accredited our one-day workshop. They have given credit points. And for our pressure injury workshop, not only that, we also have a VT prophylaxis, also on safe patient handling. We do nursing audits on pressure injury. In fact, my senior madam also get involved in some of the policy making in pressure injury SOP in hospitals. Infection control, which is a core of our nursing, right? And in this pandemic situation. So we follow that. For pressure injury prevention, we have our SOP, we have our disinfection protocol to see that what is being touched by the patient is very safe. We do our clinical rounds to reach out to all nurses of all strata. It's right from a staff nurse, till a shift in charge, still supervisor, till a nursing director. So we are very much into nursing. We are core into nursing. Coming back to VT prophylaxis, say for example, we work with clinical evidence-based practice. If somebody is with me in LinkedIn, you can see that I have posted shared some of our Arjo recent clinical evidence study. The very recent one is Dr. Rees-Morris study on COVID, how mechanical prophylaxis is helpful and where it should be applied appropriately. So those things, right now, it's October month, it's 13 October, so Dr. Rudolph's Virtues birthday, which was celebrated as World Thrombosis Day, as you all know. So we in RGO, we do clinical campaigns, obviously virtually this time, with slogan, with poster competition, and where we are permitted, we do actual with social distancing. So this kind of campaigning is there for WTG program, for Stop Pressure Injury Day, which is coming in 19 November. So we go on this kind of activity, meet with any doctors or any physiotherapists, biomedical or nurses to bring out what is the clinical demand of the patient, where we need to focus on. Another important topic is safe patient handling. Safe patient handling for prevention of patient fall, definitely. But what about nurses? We are the nurses, right? We also think about ourselves. That is most important. So we nurses often suffer from musculoskeletal disorders. Some countries do have passed on regulation that 16 kg is the maximum weight capacity a nurse should bear. But some countries are still working on it. We are trying on it. And I'm proud that we, the RGO clinical team, are for the nurses, for the patient benefit. So we continue our journey in creating this awareness so that we are for our fellow nurses, because we want that nurses should feel motivated. There should not be any burnout. So focusing on that aspect also we work. So very essence of me continuing my journey in 16 years in this corporate sector, that I am with the nurses. We go with hospitals. We rather get involved with colleges also. So I am with the nursing thing. I'm not doing something very different from what I would have been done in an hospital or academic, but maybe in a different structure or different style, you may tell. So with that, I thank you all for letting me share this thing with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Preeta. We can see that you are living your passion and therefore you are always happy. A beautiful smile we can see on your face every time. So I really wanted to raise one question immediately after your talk. How you keep yourself motivated? Because, you know, maximum time nurses face that problem that they cannot keep themselves motivated. But we can see, and you know, as I'm listening you now, it's a third or fourth time that you have a very charming voice, you know, always feel like you are full of enthusiasm. How do you manage and maintain your positivity?
Okay, thank you for Rupa for this good note and compliments. Yes, when I was working, you know, right from my first day, I can say the 1st June 2004 when I joined until date, every day brings me new challenges, handling teams, handling the team problems. So those are something which is always there. And one very good thing that we maintain a very open culture, you know, that any point we are reachable to anybody. We can share our issues so that, you know, things become very, it challenges us, the happy go round, you know, you can say in that way that, yes. So that is one of the very important thing I can say to you.
Thank you very much, Preeta ma'am. And I can see a question for you, but I really wanted to take that question at the end. And now we have another very special guest to hear. And once again, Preeta, thanks for giving us such a insightful, such a motivational, and I hope so many people are listening and so many nurses who are having on a higher position and they can think of creating such ladder so that, you know, nurses will be having a better career prospect in future, and they can think of creating this, because this is one of the important factor which you said while you're talking about your professional career pathway, and especially a very good thing about your company. Yes. So our next speaker is another a very enthusiastic and young dynamic lady. And so many people can see that they are already following her. uh, she is Miss NC Abraham. uh, we actually, how I got to know NC, when I will call a powerhouse of enthusiasm, and a pro social nurse. When I started talking to her, then I got to realize that, oh, she's so pro social. She's involved in so many social activity, as well as she's actually exert herself a lot to learn, formally. Like, she had done master in social work, MBA. She is a master in nursing and ops and gynae. And most important, how she grabbed our attention is through her talk show, that Talk with Health Heroes. That's one of the very finest show I ever came across, and I was so impressed with this lady. And I since then I really wanted to be put her on the show, so that she can be another young dynamic motivator for our upcoming nurses. Thank you, NC, for accepting our invitation and being on the show. And over to you, NC.
Thank you so much, Rupa. Thank you so much, all the team of the You Use the Nurse Talk Show. Am I audible? Because my network is very slow. I don't know how it just went off. Am I audible?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, NC, you're quite audible, Ji.
All right. I'll just give me 2 minutes. Right. So thank you so much. Actually, I am super excited because I get this platform to talk about the nurses, because when I am here in northern part of India, and I have not seen something like this before. So I am so happy for your team that you have created. I should say, rather than talking about my series, I would always also focus on your this talk show. It is so good, and very proud of you all, because when I see other nurse doing something different, I get that energy to do something different. Yeah, nurses can do something different. So thank you for having me over, and thank you for inviting me. So I would like to introduce myself. I'm so happy that so many of you were telling me that they follow me. I didn't know that. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for encouraging me in the first start of the meeting as well. So I would like to tell about myself that like Rupa said already, that I did my master's in nursing in obs and gynae. So when I did my bachelor's, I just knew that I had to do my master's. So it was not planned that I had to do on obs and gynae. I just wanted that I should be doing master's. So while I was doing my master's, I realized that no, it's not how I thought nursing is in this side of India. So but I also know that in other countries there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of scope as well. Because if you have a passion, if you have a potential, you can do things very differently there. I've seen my really, you have the potential and you can do differently. So yes, but I think that wherever we are, we can break the ceiling, we can break the glass, we can come out of the box, and we can do differently. So it is such a good topic, I would say, to talk about, and to encourage nurses. I always wanted to do this because I see a lot of nurses who are really smart, who have the potential, and they are in the nutshell. They are in that shell. They are in that four walls, doing the double duties, doing whatever has been said, being in that small, getting the small amount of money, whatever they get. And yeah, there are organizations which are talking about their salaries, and I am really happy and I am very proud of them for what they're doing. So, this talk series, which you were talking about, is just a drop in the ocean, I feel. And I feel that that drop in the ocean also, I'm sure that it's just 0.1% of what success means to me. So even if it is 0.1%, but I'm sure that people who are watching me, my colleagues, my classmates, somebody I'm putting an influence on, because maybe they think that if Ansi can do, I can also do. Right? It is not something that I've joined with, or I'm doing in collaboration with somebody. I'm doing it myself. So I think many people, many nurses out there can do. So this talk series I started because I thought that people call doctors, people call other celebrities, they call Bollywood actors, they call whoever are uh, are in different fields, but I've never seen people calling nurses like in a continuous talks. So I wanted to call the nurses just to show the world that nurses are, a power pack. They are super talented, and when I see nurses doing multi-talented things, I think that nobody else can do in this world what nurses can do. They actually handle so many things, and I'm sure that when they handle all of these things, they eventually become, brilliant. You have, if you are inborn brilliant, or if you are you have a good mind, you have to keep exercising, then only you learn the things. Your brain has to work. If you want to learn, if you want to have knowledge, you have to keep exercising your brain. But I feel nurses are multi-talented. They if you put them anywhere, they'll be able to do. I'm pretty 100% sure that they'll be able to do other things or manage other things more than anyone, any other profession can do. So I think when they can do that, they can do it differently also, not only on the staff. Because I joined as a nurse educator, not with the purpose that I wanted to be a nurse educator. I joined as, it was a chance. Like, my husband was an engineer, so he was in Bangalore, and we shifted to Noida. So it was by chance. I always wanted to do either in college or something like that. So I was always involved in social work before only. So my dad is a pastor. I don't know how many of you understand that. My dad is a priest. So we have the slum thing called, we give education on the slums. So I was always interested in, teaching the kids, and always interested in, making. I felt that even even if they are in the slums, even if they don't study, but they have this passion of learning so much. So I was somebody who always wanted to, teach those kids. And I was always involved in social work. I used to do medical camps with my dad, and we used to call doctors and do all of this stuff. So I wanted to do something like, social work bhi ho, jahan pe social work is also there, nursing is also there. So now I am stuck up in nursing, and I also wanted to do social work. So I wanted a collaboration of it. So I think मेरा mainly ये talk show या the talk series which I am been doing is that I can come up. I just wanted to tell the world that nurses can go beyond conventional measures, not only on the bedside, not only to teach in the colleges, but nurses can be entrepreneurs. They can do business, and they can they can be psychologists. But nobody told me before that I can do masters in psychology as well. I can do masters in clinical psychology after my bachelor's in nursing. So I think a lot of awareness is needed, which is why I started this talk show as well, or the channel. I would say that I can reach out to the nurses out there who thinks that, no, I have to do something different, but I don't know what to do. Many nurses in my hospital. So I work as nurse educator in one of the hospitals known as Max Hospital, Vishali. So so I teach around 600 to 650 staff are there. So we regularly are in touch with the staff, and they come up with the problems. They tell us what is happening, or they're frustrated with this job. We don't know what to do, or they don't even sometimes get the time to look into their dreams. So that is why I wanted to do things differently. As in, I didn't resign from my job. I'm still working as a nurse educator. I have a baby as well. So Rupa asked me also to tell about that how do you manage work and this. And this is yeah, I have to. If you want to achieve something, you have to really take out your time. And I am taking out of my time. After sometimes it happens, it is struggle as well. Sometimes it happens that there's a delay in dinner, or I have to skip sometimes dinner. So my husband also tells me that you don't have to do the video thing all the time. But I think that sometimes you have to come out of the way. You will have struggle, but it will always turn out to be good. So I want to encourage all the nurses who are watching me that it's not only the bedside or it's not only the college. If you have a passion in yourself, that I want to do something different. I think nowadays it's more easier. This era is more easier because social media is there, and they can really talk what they want to talk. And we are also lucky that we are able to communicate with the people, uh, communicate with the people. And I'm sure there is a change in the perspective of people that yeah, they also consider nurses, they are doing something, or they consider it. So thanks to the social media. So and also nurses who are new, who are working, they should also have this passion of learning. Knowledge is the thing that people get attracted to. If you have knowledge, definitely people will get attracted. And yeah, and I hope you guys keep watching what I'm doing. And so I it is in the name of Medical Crib. Those who are watching me, so you can follow. And even I encourage other nurses to come up and speak, so that they can encourage others. So once they start, one people can influence at least five of them. If that five do something differently, they can encourage 10 of them. So that's how we multiply and show our potential. And that's how we can and also when you have knowledge, you attract your patient as well. And you even in bedside, I think you can do differently. And I have seen people putting pick lines, what doctors are doing, they are doing. So that's also different. That's also coming out of the conventional nursing. So all the best, all of you. Thank you, Rupa. Thank you, all the team, for having me. All the best.
Thank you very much, NC, for having such a clean, to the point, everything you're telling, from your family part to everything. You are actually a born speaker, and I must say that anchor. As I was actually really wanted to know how you manage, you are actually a powerhouse, because I know that you are having a small baby. You are doing this video job, because I am doing this through Zoom, and I am in this, so I know how much effort it needs. So I hats off to you for that show, because wholeheartedly alone you are handling that show. Third, you are a full-time worker. Fourth, you are with family. So I really wanted to know how you manage your time, as well as how you maintain yourself, because that fitness is also very important. We really want a few tips on that. Over to you.
Yeah, so I would also add on to this that I have my parents. I mean, like they're living separately, but yeah, they also take care of my baby sometimes. Sometimes when I'm off to work, so they take care. So I'm blessed with that thing. And yeah, like I said, it has to be, you have to take extra time out of your routine. So I actually call my guest at 10 o'clock, and they are ready to come at 10 o'clock. So when my baby sleeps, when I'm settled with all my dinner and all the stuff is over, then I sleep. So this is my extra time that I put in. So that's how I manage. And I think I make sure that my routine is proper. I don't, make it interfere in my family life a lot. Sometimes it happens, but I make sure that it is after 10 o'clock or after 9:30. Whatever I do after 9:30. I make sure I do it after 9:30, so nothing is disturbed in that way. And I also talk or chat with my guest after 9:30, so they're also comfortable, I am also comfortable. And yes, I have to do, if you have to achieve something, you have to really put up your extra effort, extra time, and extra something, so that you can come out good. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I really wanted to know, Preet. I'm so sorry, NC, I'm taking long question from you. What you do for your fitness? Because being a female, being a mother, being a working lady, it's important that we should give time to our fitness also. And I can see that you are a little bit fitness freak also. So I really want that you should give this advice to our listener viewers.
Okay, so fitness, I would say that I'm blessed with this thing already. I was already fit, but then, yeah, yes, yeah, extra. Even I think that you should be fit, you should look good, not in a sense like you should look fit. That's when you have the energy, to when you're dull or when you don't feel fit. Fitness, in a sense, you have to feel fit from inside. That that's how we'll be energetic more. So if you ask me what do I do for fitness, I do sometimes cycling, and I go for walk. That's the only thing I do, nothing else, and that too all only when I have time.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It was lovely talking to you. And now we are happy to have questions. I hope people must be writing and they really wanted to know more. Yes. So there was a Preeta, I really wanted, yeah, there was a question for you, Preeta. So, ma'am, this was a question by Deepthi. Is there any option of utilizing your courses for obtaining credit hours from Nursing Council?
See, almost 12 nursing councils have accredited our programs in on 8 credit hours or 6 credit hours on an average they have given. So it is already there on pressure injury and also in PT prevention and also on safe patient handling.
Yes. Thank you very much. I request everyone to please feel free to write the questions, because today we are talking unconventional and we are more focusing on their life story. As I was asking NC that what she does for her fitness and how she keep herself positive. It's very important. The people who are doing out of the way things, they has to have very positive and happy all the time, and you can see there is always a charming smile on the face of these ladies. And as NC said that she's putting everything after 9:30. Prioritizing thing is another important factor. Preeta, I really wanted to know a little about more, if you really wanted to talk about your schedule, how you're managing, because I know there is a huge pressure on the corporate and traveling. Moreover, you are managing many countries. So
yeah, it's too challenging, but I saw a question in that chat box. Yes, DNC is there. DNC has accredited our program on pressure injury and deep-vein thrombosis. Our pioneer is Tamil Nadu Nursing Council, which is first pioneered by my colleague Sumati. And later on, it is there many nursing council. Mumbai has given us a basket in all our CNA credit hours. West Bengal Nursing Council, UK Nursing Council, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat. So all there are bundles are there.
yeah.
So they have given. I have seen
Preeta
some
ma'am,
of
we
the
understand
questions.
that you really,
Yeah.
no, Preeta ma'am, we really understand that you really worked hard and your courses are now credited with the state council.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
ma'am.
In the
So, but
I'm saying.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Now my question is how you're managing your time.
Yeah.
Because you are managing other countries also. So you must be having, and as I said that there's a huge pressure on a
Preeta is
corporate
managing.
people.
Hello.
Yeah.
Preeta is managing North. I mean, in India North. I think this is what she said.
Yeah,
I had a
she's
question to her. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm coming to exactly what Rupa has says, how I'm managing of everything. Yeah, I'm really sharing to that. Because by seeing that question, I thought I will answer it first before coming to Rupa's question. Yes, no doubt it's a challenging. A little bit personal. I have 2 kids who are in class 8 and 6. And you can understand when they are studying in DPS school. So they are doing with an Kolkata branch. I have with my in-laws, I have my husband who is full-time with traveling profession, and with me also in a traveling profession. It is quite challenging, and it's challenge for, I think, all women who are right now in this show. For any working woman, balance between the professional and personal life, and that too has to be happen very neatly, just how Ansi say that she ensure that everything is perfect. So yes, and for me it is quite challenging, but as you know, with God grace and more thing is a willpower that I have to do, because situation came, just after first year, my son, I have first daughter and then son. In 1 year, he came detected to having asthma, and with that condition also, it. Though I got support from my company, but still, you have your job demand, you have your responsibility, and being such positions, you cannot deny your responsibility. So quite challenging, but as I always believe, where there's a will, there is a way. So if you have an willing power, you can achieve, you can manage. That is what I wanted to give message to everyone.
Excellent. Preeta ma'am, you said absolutely right. Though it's a difficult, but where is the will, there is the way. That's always there. So next question is also to you because, some Mr. Krish is asking is unconventional thought gives the financial stability also. Um
True,
yeah,
yes,
just
definitely. I will tell you another honest thing to you. When we are in our, what I will tell, in our graduation, mid-20s, we often have some kind of ambition. So I always wanted to work for some corporate, though I also have interest to work with nursing, where I can achieve card. And to be very, I felt very proud when I became the regional manager and company gifted me a car, and that is sedan car. I was honestly very much excited. I felt it's more than an honor, it's more than a remuneration. And I put it in my Facebook that my first achievement. So I can share this thing as a small, thing. Yes, no doubt there is a financial stability is there to work with the unconventional way, because to be very frank and honest, that is our base, and definitely. But apart from that, also the motivation, your job profile, the work which you are doing, that you have asked also in my first question, what keeps me motivating is my nature of job, is uniqueness of job. And definitely, I also like
yeah.
a job where
Uh,
there is a traveling, when I can travel to various countries. Recently, I have been to Bangladesh. So I felt very interesting. And in fact, as because I am also a Bengali in mother tongue, and the Bangladesh people had that little bit, you can say, little bit, you have seen also, they have linguistic weakness, and they are the only, I think, one country who has fought for the language. So when I felt that is a very interesting thing, also to work with the customers, to meet with various kind of people, so this kind of meeting with various people, whether I worked in Jaipur, whether I worked in Ludhiana, whether I worked in Delhi, whether I worked in Lucknow, whether I work in Guwahati, whether I work in Gangtok even, so those things is something which is very much motivating. It give me different test every time, So that is one thing is very interesting in my job profile.
yeah. So now my question is over to NC. NC, how you come up and started thinking that you will be coming up with a channel? Because I can see that you started channel. It was not a new. It's a quite couple of months, or I would say years. So how this thought breaking idea came into your mind. Because we are from a conventional nursing field. Let me tell you, it's always difficult to have a out of the blue idea, and whenever we think something new, it doesn't supported by our colleague, family and friends sometimes. So I really wanted to talk about your support system and how you come up with this idea that you really wanted to start a YouTube channel.
All right. So I started this long back. So when I just got married and I was not working. So I did one video, and then I moved into Noida, I told you. Then I had this job. So that was completely gone. I was busy, and I had a baby. So it was difficult. And then when she was like 1.5 years old now, then I thought, no, I should not leave that thing which I started. I had one more video with me which I didn't edit till now. So I remember that was my best video, and I didn't till now edit. It's still in my desktop. And So my idea was to reach out the nurses, that not only nurses, all the medical profession. Like I told you, I always wanted to teach. I love teaching kids. I love teaching people. So this YouTube channel was to teach others. So my idea was to teach, especially when I was doing my bachelor. So I was somebody who will, learn at the end. Maybe I'll just understand what teachers are telling, and then I will, when the exam comes, then only you'll learn. And then you don't feel like opening the book and learning so much. So I thought I should be help to somebody who can just listen to this 10-minute thing, 10-minute learning stuff, and can learn and can write that thing. And I also wish that time that somebody could teach me. When I was doing my masters also, I felt that somebody should be showing that presentation of all the delivery, all kind of deliveries. So I felt that that's when I got this idea that I should also be doing some videos wherein if somebody like me, I am sure that 70% of the people are like that. They'll learn at the end of the or before the exam. So they'll not open the book and learn, or somebody has to teach them, or you have to really sit. So that's when the idea came that no, I have to, I have to help someone out. And people were encouraging. On that one video, they were telling me you should do more videos, because when I was going for my exam, I have seen that video of your hypertension. There was a video on hypertension. So I thought, yeah, I'll be doing that. But also I had this idea recently. I had this idea that no, I should call up people in my house and set up an studio setting, and I should be talking about the disease condition, rather than I telling. Other people also should come, then only that would be more interesting. Only seeing my face, they won't it won't interest them. Same face, same everything, all cheese only teaching. So I thought of that. But then that COVID came and everything was different, totally different. So I saw people, then I had this idea, then how are people doing the interviews when the social distancing has to be maintained? So then I thought, I thought it would be difficult, because I don't know if people will agree to come in. Some people will not agree to come in. But I thought, no, I have to do it. So that's the idea, that I thought that no, maybe they'll the other people who are maybe an associate director, or dean of the college, so they will not agree to what I say, or if I ask, they will not come up. But it was not like that. And I felt that nothing is impossible. That's only in your mind. Yes. So that's how this idea of talk show came, and I think it's going well.
I wanted to
You're
ask
muted.
Preeta. I was asking Preeta. I already put this question down there. Like, because I
Yes.
know, actually, only since yesterday I know, because I talked to her boss. Her boss is my senior. How training, or how, like, what keeps you motivated at work? Because everybody in general routine do not have the opportunity to grow. And one of the reasons I firmly believe is the lack of motivation has something to do with the organization. So, can you share what your organization does that keeps you not wanting to leave the company and to continue there? Sorry, Rupa.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yes, we get challenging tasks on and often, which is also, all the time monotony is something which gives you the boredom. That is one thing. Financial stability is also another important thing. Then teamwork. This is also a very important thing, that how we as a team behaves. It's not the team within the internal, as I shared with you, or we share our work profile with sales colleagues, engineers, service engineers, finance colleagues. Is together the teamwork is also a motivating factor. How we grow on is the culture, is the organizational thought processes. This is one thing. These are the few things which is very interesting for us. And most important thing is the work nature. Today I am undergoing one challenge, say in Kolkata. Tomorrow may I get some different challenge in Ludhiana. say maybe another different challenge when working for Bangladesh. So everything there always a food for thought. So those is something very interesting, and definitely open culture, guidance, all these are always there. So these are some of the key points you can say.
So
Yeah.
do you all work directly with nurses? Now you must be working, or I do not know. Do your team, do you go
Yes,
visiting
yes, yes.
hospitals?
I also, yeah, we work totally with the nurses, right from a staff nurse level till a nursing director. We are in touch with each and everyone. Means through our clinical rounds, we meet with each nurses. Say, for example, Bredenskel. We started in 2002 when we means we started only in 3 major cities, that is Chennai, Bombay, and Delhi. Then started with Kolkata and Bangalore, and slowly pan India, 32 cities. So we started with the Bredenskel. It is nicely we used to do our session. Many chain hospital like that, and they implemented in the nursing assessment chart. Well going. But nowadays we found that this assessment with the newcomers, sometimes they just put numbers without understanding the scale. I'm just taking one example. So when we work, when our clinical team work, we reach out. We take one thing as in-flow teaching or bedside teaching. Routine classroom teaching is there, but this in-flow teaching or bedside teaching has a different essence, where we teach in more depth. Maybe on my clinical round, I capture only 2 or 3 nurses, where I just on the spot take their Bredenskel assessment, assess with them, talk to them. So this is something which I wanted to tell, that in depth. So we are in depth into the nursing. I'm just telling one example with the Bredenskel. And then various other things as I shared, say for example, infection control. So DVT governments. So DVT governments, we have a strict policy, compliant policy. Even one-day users also, patient use, we take out the DVT garments, because we have a clinical study which has proved that bioburden increase with the reuse of DVT garment. And we also focus while talking to the nurses how stockings can cause pressure injury. So those are the clinical insight which can only happen when we go in depth. It's not just a superficial classroom 1 hour or half an hour training cannot do. So overall, we try to mix or amalgamate with all our nursing faculty to bring some change agent, as your new talk show is exactly, we are focusing on that to create that awareness.
Yeah. Preeta ma'am, I have a question, because being a nurse, you
Yeah.
are a nurse.
You,
Okay.
Rupa.
How you accepted? Do you think that you are accepted very well when you go to the hospital by the nursing fraternity?
See, maximum majority of times, as far my 16 years careers go, and not only me, I have many other nursing colleagues who are for 9-10 years. You can say 98 to 99% we are accepted very well, because they like. Because see, company people, when just a salesperson, their acceptance is different. And when they saw nurses, they understood that we have started our career from bed making. So today I am just sharing another very key essence, because when we share some solution, when we share that you use our PIF solution, many times the staff nurse know, okay, I am going to use your pressure area care system. How I will do the bed making, ma'am? The bed becomes untidy. So maybe we go in a very improvised way, how we do bed making. So we have gone to that depth. For a home care nurse, out of box, when we go and meet, we know that attendants are not well qualified to do a back care. I know this starting off my career, I used to, even my team is also doing, even teach how to do a back care, to those kind of things, you know. Yeah, and coming specifically to answer your things, 90 to 99% we are well accepted, and sometimes, yes, it is a nature of a person. It's nothing to do with we nurses being working in a corporate or working in a company. Maximum time it's well accepted. And to be very honest with you, right at this moment, when I introduce within a doctor, though I told, okay, I'm Preetha Shawkat, DGM clinical, the first thing next I tell I am a nurse. So that gives a bright looks even in front of a consult. Oh, you are a nurse. That means you are from our background only. So today, if you are telling me any solution, it's not that you are here to do business. You are telling for the clinical needs of the person. You as a nurse, you understood what. So this, you can say, these are also small things which is a motivating factor. Exactly, you say that acceptance part.
Totally agree. And we are so happy to listen that somebody so proudly said that she's a nurse. And thank you very much. We are full of such nurses who feel proud to be a nurse. Yeah, I really wanted to ask a question from NC, that why medical crib, your name of the channel?
Why?
Yeah,
Okay.
we really want to
Uh,
live. Yeah.
Okay, so the channel's name, it was not like I told you, it was not only for nursing. So I wanted to do like medical. So even if I'm a nurse, I know I study everything, right? We study everything. So it was not only for nurses. So I kept it as medical and crib in a sense, like everything is included. Lot of knowledge and crib. It's all the medical things are included. So that's why medical crib. So for the budding
Thank
nurses,
you.
budding doctors, budding psychologists, budding dentists, we have everything in the medical crib. So that's
Yeah.
why the name
And
medical crib.
as we were talking about, I really happy that NC and I'm having a same sort thought of school. Like we believe health professional. We don't believe that nurses, doctor, nobody is should be distinguished like that. We all are the health professionals, and we are working for health of the people. And that's a high time that we should start talking like this. So with that note, we are at the end of the session, and thank you very much for answering all the questions, though they were very spontaneous, but you were amazing ladies. So now it's time to take home lesson. So I request Preeta ma'am to give us a few tips and your life philosophy which you want to share with us.
Be passionate with your dream. What you dream, what you thought of, yes, you can achieve. As Swami Vivekananda says, arise, awake till your goal is reached. So live with your dream and have a positive outlook for whatever you do. So that is my key message. And an important thing, we are nurses. For upliftment of our profession, to create an image of a profession, we are responsible. We cannot tell anybody else that, oh, it is what we make. A staff nurse, till a CNO, till us, everybody make what the nurse is in front of public, in front of our family, who are also part of this public, right? So that's what I can say to you. So proud to be nurse, and I know whoever has planned this talk show, and really what I will say, I'm grateful, or I am thankful for such kind of imagination or such kind of initiative. Is really, really wonderful.
No, Rupa only has to be thanked in that case. This Rupa just got all of us together to help her, or not even help her, just to stand by her side. But it's her idea, so she only should be given the credit for this.
But you all's guidance matters a lot now.
That is also there, but it's her brain. She started it.
Wow, that's great. So I wanted to tell that while I was doing my nursing, so I thought that nurses, I don't know how it is treated in this part of India. So I thought of doing my MBA, and then I thought of doing my MSW. I thought I'll leave nursing. But then I realized, why should I leave nursing? And I can do something for nurses, and I can I can make nurses very proud. So I should be staying in this. So I want to tell all takeaway messages that you have to find your passion. First of all, you should have a dream. It's not that, no, I am settled, I'm in my comfort zone. Come out of the comfort zone, find your passion, and accept your choice. That if you have chosen that, let's come out in that, let's shine in that choice. And and do things which you like and keep learning. That's my most important key. And don't gossip. I would like to tell that, you don't waste time on gossiping, and have a chit chat with knowledgeable people who are above you. So the more you connect with people, the more knowledgeable you get. If I'm telling about Preeta, if now I came to know about her. So if you connect with her, if I connect with you, I'll come to know about, I almost got an idea what Arjo Hendle is doing, even though we are connected to your clinical managers and Max Hospital. And if I'm connecting to all of you here, Rupa, and we come to know what they're doing, and we are learning from them. So even when I was doing my video, I had to learn so many things. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how it works, how it looks in the TV, but I kind of learned that thing, and that's how I implemented it. So do not gossip. Do a chit chat with people above you, or people who actually would give you knowledge, and flaunt your own style. Be different, be unique. And yeah, all the best, all of you.
Thank you very much, Preeta. And I sincerely apologize for all the technical glitch which I had today. I'm extremely sorry for that. But thank you very much to the lovely ladies who actually bring glory to the show, as well as so much enthusiasm, power, zeal. And we had a very good time today. And one and the most important thing is beat your fear. That's most important. And how you can beat your fear? By being yourself in uncomfortable zone. That is the only way to beat your fear. As and see in the last few lines, and repeat again and again, she's re-emphasizing that don't gossip, because definitely when we talk about the negative thing, that negative energy comes to us, and ultimately our whole creativity, productivity goes down. We feel like draining. And the most important thing is talk to the people who are knowledgeable. They give you so much idea. Say, they always motivate you. So don't leave a single chance. Like she said that we get connected with Preeta. Yes, truly agree, that lady with the so much positive vibes, constructive ideas. And through this talk show, we are connected with so many positive nurses, and don't leave a single chance to connect with these lovely nursing fraternity. Most important, we have to be a huge circle of positive nurses who will be making this positivity infectious. And most important, be unique. You are the only copy of yourself. Don't dilute and pollute yourself. Every day try to be better version of yourself. And with that note, I really wanted to end the show here. Love and peace for you all, to to us as well as to you all. Thank you very much, Preeta. Thank you very much, NC. And thanks everyone for joining us today.
Thank you, Rupa. Thank you, everyone, the organizer, for this arranging such a lovely show.
Thank you.